our viewers are going to enjoy all of this. I'm going to speak something about why we've done this show with Gul and Discovery. And then I'm going to request Arun to share some of his thoughts, and then finally Gul to share some of her thoughts and experiences from having done this.
Sorry, and before I do that, here's a clip on what to expect on the show.
Thank you, Vivek. Thank you, Arun. Well, watching this AV just made me relive all the fun Swati and I had. I don't know where to start. I had all these lines prepared that I was going to share with you all, but I think I'm just going to go with my gut now, Vivek. As both Vivek and Arun spoke before me, Ladakh is the sort of Mecca of adventure travel. And to be honest, I have been there many times before. But each time I drove to Ladakh, I just felt so inadequate in whatever vehicle I went. I felt कि थोड़ी clearance और होनी चाहिए गाड़ी की, या फिर extra fuel होना चाहिए मेरे पास. One time on an adventure trip to Sach Pass, I got stranded on the roadside, and I said, you know, एक rooftop tent भी होना चाहिए. So this wish list started like this. All my adventure trips that I've been doing for years now, I had this list that my ultimate adventure vehicle needs to have all these things. I'd been driving a Scorpio for many years, and I sort of, as Vivek said, I approached him. I said, what do you think is the best vehicle for me to start the process of customizing this truck? So the team was very kind. They said, we think the Scorpio Getaway will work. And then my friend Jaskirat out there, hello Jaskirat, he started work on it. It took us about 3.5, 4 months to make it look like what it finally looks like, and completely prepare it and make it into a ultimate expedition vehicle. Swati, my friend, had always been asking me, each time I'd post on Twitter about adventure travel or adventure trips, I'm going here, going there, and she'd say, you never take me along. So when this whole, this enterprise was coming together, this collaboration, I called her up, and she's a lawyer. She practices in the Supreme Court. She's a women's rights lawyer. And I asked her, hey Swati, you've been asking me all this while, chalna hai? And she said, I'll call you back in 2 hours. She called me back and she said, 14 days, I'm all yours. And I was, I don't know very many friends that I have who would just, with 2 hours notice, drop everything they have. She has her own practice. So it's not like she has to take leave from somebody and, you know, work will still go on if she's not there. I don't know how work went on, maybe you'll tell us about it. So Swati joined me, and I think that was a fantastic part, because through her eyes, I was actually able to see this journey all over again, experience it, because a lot of stuff that I've been doing, I've been born into an army family, adventures in my blood, I'm married to somebody who's quite adventurous. So we take adventure for granted. But to see her react to certain situations that I thought were normal actually scared me. So typically, you know, you have a mountain pass that has a path that goes up like this. So you can always take a shortcut which cuts through the road. It's something that I don't even think about when I do normally. But seeing Swati, I began to wonder, am I doing the right thing? Should I be doing this? And seeing her, I don't know, fear, apprehension maybe, I figured that maybe I should be a little careful. So she did bring out the caution in me, which otherwise I would have not been. So let's just say I wouldn't be that cautious. Vivek was very kind. He said that I'm a accomplished off-roader. Thank you very much. I've had a very, very good guru, Tejas Kothari out there, Dr. Tejas Kothari. He's my off-road guru. He's in fact, incidentally, India's only certified from Germany off-road instructor. So a lot of the off-roading tricks that I do, whether it's reversing in ravines or attempting sand dunes, some of them I don't end up mastering, but a lot of what I know today about off-roading is courtesy Tejas. So this trip, Ladakh, well, another secret about Ladakh is I lived there for 2 years. So I had the distinction, dubious distinction, of studying in the highest school in the world. That's the Kendriya Vidyalaya, yes, the one where the German language as a third language has just been done away with. So I studied in the Kendriya Vidyalaya for 2 years in Leh, and I have very special memories of Leh. And one day I thought I'll come back and I'll see Leh and Ladakh my own way. And the other really interesting thing that we managed to do on this trip was a lot of the areas that we've actually visited were earlier off limits for tourists, because for those of you who, who read about the kind of permits that are required in Jammu and Kashmir, something called the Inner Line Permit. So as recently as May 2014, the Inner Line Permit requirement for Indian tourists has been done away with. That gave us the opportunity to actually explore the area beyond Pingongso. So Lake Pingongso, everybody knows, we've seen it in Three Idiots. It's where Amir Khan's school was. But the area beyond Pingongso was something only the defense forces had access to. Of course, we could see it on the map, but we couldn't go there. So that actually is going to be seen for the very first time on camera ever. We went to this basin called the Hanle Basin. We went to some truly unique passes. Of course, we've done the top 3 highest motorable passes. That's Khardungla, Taglangla, Changla. And then we also went to Pola Kongla, which is very off the beaten path, quite high, but it's off the beaten path. You wouldn't normally end up going there. We had some pretty scary adventures, misadventures, and hair-raising experiences. Our best laid plans sometimes just crashed and crumbled in front of us. But I think it was a tremendous learning experience for me as an individual, because I was with somebody who was not my husband or my brother or my father. So I had to actually be nice, because you take your husband and your brother and your father and your mother so much for granted. You say, I don't feel like doing this, I'm hungry now, I want to do this. So Swati actually brought out a very nice, I like to believe, side in me. And to tell you a little bit more about the trip, I'd like to call on stage. Yes, please, Swati. I know you're surprised, but please. And tell us what life is like outside the courtroom, and especially when you go on a trip like this. Yes, please come up. So this is Swati. She's the lady who very kindly agreed to be my my co-traveler, my companion, I think it's on.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
So, this feels very different. Thank you.
She's very soft-spoken, yes.
Thank you so much for coming, all of you. And this trip, as you would have seen in this 4-minute film, and as you will see in the next 3 episodes, was the time of my life. And I'm sure all of you are going to be jealous once you watch it. I never thought I could do what all I ended up doing there. I didn't think I had the capability. So I rediscovered myself in many aspects. I had newfound respect for Gul behind the wheel. Once I came back, I was like, wow. And so that's it. I think. Wait. I have a question before that. She's very comfortable, obviously, talking to Milord. Yeah, those are easier to please.
Tell me, what was the scariest moment for you?
Scariest? My scariest, right? So that was when you were making those donuts around me.
That was scary?
She made me stand in the middle, and she was just driving around. And it looked so much simpler out there.
But you were actually scared? You thought I'll run you over?
Just in case, So that was the scary.
The scariest.
The scary. And the marathon was fun. We did.
Both Swati and I are runners, so you can tell us.
We ran the Leh Marathon. That was, again, we both thought actually, that we might just end up dying at the end of the marathon, but we survived it. And so.
What about the unplanned night that we spent in the middle of nowhere?
So this is, I think, post-midnight?
2 o'clock.
Yeah, 2 o'clock, we're driving, we're just following lights. There are no roads out there, there's wildlife, and we see a light very far away, and we're like, okay, let's just reach that point. No roads, nothing, you're driving in the middle of the night. Once we reached there, we realized it was a moving vehicle, and what we thought was our destination. And so, of course, there was, I think we had a booking, but for some reason...
We couldn't find the camp.
The camp. And that night, we ended up spending the night in the tent on top of the vehicle. So, and of course, when we woke up at night, it looked like middle of nowhere, and that's what I was telling us. This is like mission suicide. This is not adventure. I thought adventure is go climb, mountain climbing, do rafting, and of course, we did all that as well.
Considering she's water phobic, so I pushed her to go rafting, and she'd never sat in the boat. So Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
It's okay.
So yes, I mean, Swati's had some quite hair-raising experiences.
I think all of it. Those 14 days, I came back and I respected life all over again. I had a, I was, it changed me. I came back as a changed person. I discovered a lot about myself, a lot about my traveler, of course, my co-traveler. And yeah, so that's it. Thank you, Mahindra. Thank you, Discovery. And thank you, Gul, for making me live those 14
Thank
days.
you.
I actually lived.
Thanks, Swati.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, that's it from me. So Swati shared a perspective which I had never seen before. I was not capable of seeing. And I don't think this trip would have been even 1/10 as fun, as exciting as it was if it wasn't for Swati. Thank you so very much, Swati, for being part of this. Like Swati, I think I'd have to thank Mahindra and Discovery for this wonderful collaboration that's given us this opportunity to go and explore parts, two women on a mission that very few people would ordinarily want to support. So thank you, Mahindra. Thank you, Discovery. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for coming. Thank you.
So you know, the night that both of you spent in the middle of nowhere, when I saw the film, I was like, I was shocked beyond belief. I said, what have these two done? So I'm sure when all of you see the episodes on Discovery, you will understand why I was so scared. Okay, so open for any questions that anyone has.
I think you've got to just set aside things that mean something to you. In my case, adventure. I've always, for many years now, before and after marriage, I've set aside in my yearly calendar that this much time I'm going to take off and go cycling, biking, off-roading, go on an adventure trip. So that remains, and I'm fortunate that I have a husband. He's here somewhere. He's walking out as I speak. Okay. He's been very supportive of whatever it is I do now. My stint in politics is not actually over yet, so I'm very much a member of the Aam Aadmi Party and still an active sort of working volunteer for the party. And I think a lot of people will ask you this question, have you changed? But the only people who are actually capable of answering that in all honesty are the people closest to you. Because in front of everybody else, you can pretend. But it's those that are closest to you that can judge you to see whether or not you've changed. So for me, I don't think life has really changed. But I think friends and family are probably better suited to answer that question. But as far as adventure goes, as far as road trips go, I think it's just a question of deciding कि मैंने ये करना है. मतलब साल में 2 हफ्ते, 1 हफ्ता, 10 दिन निकाल कर. Like how you take out time to maybe get a medical checkup or go on a holiday. So I take out that much time and say I must do this because, you know, when you're away on these trips in the middle of nowhere, it helps you reassess your life. Because when you're in Bombay or in Delhi or anywhere, you take a lot of, you attach a lot of importance to things that don't really matter in the bigger picture. So for me, this is like nirvana. I'm able to go out and it allows me to reassess my priorities in life. Am I chasing the right kind of things? If yes, great, I keep chasing them. If no, then I drop them like a hot potato. Very long answer. Yeah. Hi.
Acting is passion for you, and even this is like something like a hobby or a passion. What are the difference you found between these
I think
two?
the
Actually,
scary thing is I'm not acting here.
I know that
So,
definitely.
which is, now you see, here's the other part. People like us who have been part of showbiz are so used to projecting a particular image. So when you're doing a film, you are projecting an image. When you're at a press conference like this, you're projecting an image of somebody who speaks really well, who's wearing a jacket, is wearing high heels. But who are you really as a person? What are you really? Who are you? Is something like this exposes in a way to speak. And when the idea first, when we all sat down together to create this enterprise, a part of me was really excited, but a part of me was very nervous because I didn't want to share 100% of me, because we had cameras rolling, GoPro cameras rolling the whole time. So the director is actually not here with us today, but I had no idea what was going to become the final cut. So it was just rolling and we were just talking and singing and sometimes fighting with truckwalas and other people who were saying things to us. So, you know, I had reservations that I have been used to projecting an image for so long. I don't know if I'm ready to shed it all and just be who I am. So, in fact, when I first saw the edit, I couldn't understand what I was saying. Because I normally, when I speak to people like you, I speak so, you know, it's structured, but when you speak to people who are very close to you, you speak like this, what's up? You know, you're different. And that's what this captures. I'm not sure if it's fun, but it's a completely different side of, I'm coming from a perspective of being an actor who's in a controlled environment at all times. So it is a bit unnerving and it's very, very, very different because you're not in a controlled environment.
Talking about the language actually, or maybe the dialogues actually, as you said, like you're very, when you are very close with a friend, definitely something happens. As you said, like you would be, with the truck drivers also you may be having fought, like, you know. So a little on the language, how was it control and did you all keep some
Itna
those
control
kind of
to hai. I mean,
even a little bit, you know.
So I think there'll be some beeping you'll hear. There's a, not some, there's quite a bit of beeping.
We're a family channel.
Yes, so Arun very clearly, you know, sort of sets the bar at a it's not even UA, it's U. So, of course, there's beeping because, like I said, it's reality of a kind where you're doing. It's not even what I would call a reality show. It's just capturing the lives of two women out there by themselves, experiencing, seeing parts. For example, for someone like me who's lived in Ladakh, there was so much I still don't know. Discovering, meeting locals, learning about local culture, but you're seeing it through our eyes. So it's not a typical format. Hi, I'm Gul, and this is Swati, we're in Ladakh, and behind us is the mighty XYZ. Those are great formats, and they're very informative. But I think what we've tried to do here is show you a glimpse of what regular people are. They're not experts, but they're just adventurers. One is now, both of us are adventurers. One was an adventurer, one was an unwilling accomplice. And that's what's the differentiator. So you've got two people doing something, and through their eyes, you're experiencing A, B, living, and C, hopefully enjoying. I don't know. I mean, I haven't thought about it. I really, honestly haven't thought about it. That's the... Well put. Well, to be honest, I'm a huge, and this is again, I'm saying this with all humility at my command. I'm a huge fan of the kind of programming that that Discovery Network does. And at any given point of time, if there's television on in my house, it will be Discovery. There'll probably be an animal thing going on or something to do with trucks, but it's the only channel that plays in my house. I don't really end up watching much fiction. Well, statistically, I mean, you of course have, and that's a real-time sort of a video that was made by Abhijit. He just went out and asked about 10 people, and we got release forms signed by all of them, what they really thought about women drivers. And the shocking thing was there were some women agreeing that they were bad drivers, which was like terrible for me. But to be honest, there are two things I'd like to share on that front. One, that statistically, women are involved in fewer car accidents. I'll also be really honest about that and tell you why that is the case. Fewer women drive. But statistically, fewer women will be in accidents. Two, I think the gender stereotypification in our society is so strong that if there is a boy and a girl in the house, chances are the boy will get to learn how to drive first. And then the sister will just never get an opportunity. Nahi, beta hai, bhai chala lega, bhai drop kar dega. So I feel, I mean, I know some great women drivers. I know some rallyists like Nawaz Bathena, like Sarika Sherawat. I mean, these are all big-time rally drivers. Abdullah, there's this girl, forget her first name. Again, somebody I've interacted with a lot. So there are a lot of girls out there who compete with men at the same standard as that men and women would be judged by. But I would just take cover under the statistics that lesser women are involved in accidents. So I don't believe women are bad drivers. They could be victims of stereotypification, wherein they maybe don't get their hands at the wheel as often as they should. So maybe we should just let more women drive to actually find out if they are as good or as bad as men. Yes. I think a lot of people asked me, even when we were on the road, that how are you both managing? In fact, Swati is on the show, talking to me and saying, we are two women in the middle of nowhere. So my answer to her was, nobody knows we're women. Ek baar raat ho gayi, andhera ho gaya, to kisko malum gaadi mein kaun hai? But the truth of the matter is, the first thumb rule I have as a woman driver is to drive in daylight hours. And not as a woman driver, as anybody on an adventure road trip. You want to not be driving at night if you can help it. Two, as much planning as you can do, it only holds you in good stead. So know where you're going to be spending your nights, get confirmations. This business of turning up at places and looking for places to stay should be avoided at all costs, although we ended up doing that. But we had a booking, we couldn't find the camp at night because we got so late and lights were all out. So always make a plan. Just going with the flow and dekh lenge doesn't really work with adventure travel. Adventure is all about taking calculated risks. It's not about being reckless. So that's one is try and drive in daylight hours. Two, always have your night halts planned in advance. Always carry emergency rations because you never know in the mountains when there could be a landslide and you could be stranded on the roadside. I was for one entire night, one time about 3-4 years ago. And last but not least, someone should always expect you at your destination. So that in case you don't reach by a reasonable, even after making reasonable allowance, if you don't reach your destination, then somebody should be aware that these guys are missing. So which is why most mountain regions will have checkposts, particularly before starting a pass. There'll be a police checkpost where they do an entry, and then once you again cross another checkpost. So there is some kind of a system in place, but knowing that somebody is aware of your arrival is always a good idea.
If I may add to that, always have a tough, rugged Mahindra SUV at hand.
Of course, that goes without saying. Reliability is very, very important.
Ma'am, what do you think of the recent trend of women-centric films that are so successful?
I think it's maturity of our society to some extent, and I think in no ways is it, I would say, the norm. It is still the exception. Cinema, unfortunately, world over, is a male-dominated industry. Whether and that's reflected in if you just look at a cross section of films being made either in Hollywood or in Bollywood. A, B, if you look at the remuneration of male actors vis-a-vis female actors. So what we're seeing right now is the resurgence of women-centric stories, and I do hope this trend continues, and maybe we can actually set the bar really high for maybe Hollywood to follow, because Hollywood just sees a couple women-centric films a year that are successful. And what we have seen in the last 2 years in India especially has been very, very welcoming of a change in society. So I do hope we can continue this, and I hope we can show Hollywood a thing or two about some degree of gender parity. Yeah, I think, any more questions?
Are we done here?
Yeah, I think we're done.
Okay, so maybe we'll just head out and
Head out,
go for the photo.
जिसमें दो महिलाएं किस तरीके से एक रोड ट्रिप पे जाती हैं और एक्साइटिंग चीज़ें महसूस करती है, एडवेंचर किस तरीके से हर कदम पर उन्हें दस्तक देते हुए दिखाई देता है, उसके बारे में ये शो है। और ये महिंद्रा एंड महिंद्रा डिस्कवरी चैनल और हमारी एक कोलैबोरेशन है जहाँ पर हम एडवेंचर लोगों के घरों तक ले जाना चाहते हैं। किस तरीके से लोग आज हर जगह अगर देखा जाए सब लोग चाहते हैं कि रोड ट्रिप्स किए जाएं, जगह जगह ऑफ रोड क्लब्स बन रहे हैं, ब्रांड सपोर्टेड 4-5 ऑलरेडी इवेंट्स। इनफैक्ट ये जो ग्रोथ हो रही है एडवेंचर मार्केट में इंडिया की, ये एक बहुत बड़ा फैक्टर है। यहाँ पर बहुत लोग उत्सुक हैं जानने के लिए, देखने के लिए कि किस तरीके से लोग करते क्या हैं भाई एडवेंचर रोड ट्रिप्स में। एक ये, और दूसरा मुझसे हमेशा ये सवाल पूछे गए हैं पिछले काफ़ी सालों में कि आप जब जाती हैं अपने एडवेंचर ट्रिप्स पे, रोड ट्रिप्स पर, आप करते क्या हो, मतलब क्या क्या करना चाहिए। इतना मुश्किल नहीं है, वो बस एक पहलू हम दिखाना चाहते हैं दर्शकों को, किस तरीके से दो महिलाएं भी वो सब कर सकती हैं जो लोगों को लगता है सिर्फ पुरुष कर सकते हैं।
अच्छा, जैसे आपने महिलाओं की बात की और वीडियो में दिखाया गया कि जो है लड़कियां ड्राइव नहीं कर सकती, तो आप इसमें कितना बिलीव करते हैं?
नहीं, हम बिल्कुल बिलीव नहीं करते। कुछ लोगों का ये मानना है कि शायद महिलाएं उतनी अच्छे से गाड़ी नहीं चला सकती, लेकिन हमारा ये मानना बिल्कुल नहीं है। हमने तो उससे विपरीत स्टैंड लिया है कि महिलाएं बहुत बढ़िया गाड़ी चला सकती हैं, और अगर कुछ कहीं पर कमी और कसर है तो वो है मौक़ों की और अवसर की।
पूरी जर्नी के दौरान कब आपको ऐसा एहसास हुआ कि डर लग रहा है, यू नो, व्हाइल ड्राइविंग, और कोई टर्न, कोई मोड़, ऐसे खास करके हम लद्दाख की बात करते हैं, वहाँ बहुत खतरनाक, जो हम रोड की बात करते हैं, कई मोड़ ऐसे भी हैं जो बहुत डेंजरस हैं, तो आपको ऐसा महसूस, कब आपको डर लगा?
एक दफ़ा दूसरे या तीसरे दिन हम डिले हो गए थे कुछ लैंडस्लाइड वगैरह की वजह से, और जहाँ हमें अंधेरा होने से पहले पहुँचना चाहिए था, वहाँ पहुँचते पहुँचते रात के 2 बज गए। और जब रात के 2 बज गए, हमें जहाँ रहना था, जहाँ हमारी बुकिंग थी, वो जगह हमें मिल नहीं पाई। और मुझे तो शायद इतना डर नहीं था, क्योंकि मुझे पूरा विश्वास था अपनी गाड़ी पर, क्योंकि वो बहुत ज़रूरी होता है एक रोड ट्रिप में कि कहीं गाड़ी से चूक ना हो जाए। तो गाड़ी पर बहुत विश्वास था। महिंद्रा मेरे पास स्कॉर्पियो काफ़ी सालों से थी, तो उसकी रिलायबिलिटी पर कोई शक नहीं था। लेकिन जब स्वाति के रिएक्शंस देखने को मिले, मुझे लगा कि मतलब ऐसा होता है कि आपको कभी कभी लगता है कि आपको डर नहीं लग रहा, दूसरों को कभी अगर लगता हुआ डर सामने आता है तो फिर शायद आपका भी डर अंदर से बाहर आ जाता है। तो मेरे साथ 2-3 बार ऐसा हुआ। स्वाति को देखकर मुझे लगा कि थोड़ा रिस्की है बॉस।
स्वाति के डर को देखकर आपको डर लगा?
स्वाति के डर को देखकर।
चाहे आपकी शादी हो, जिस तरीके से आप आई अपने हस्बैंड के साथ, वो मैं एनफील्ड बाइक की बात कर रहा हूँ, या फिर आप अभी थोड़े दिन पहले आप इको फ्रेंडली कार की तरफ, कार आपने ली, आपके हस्बैंड ने आपको दिलाई, एकदम अलग तरह की चीज़ें करती हैं ये गुलाब, खास करके इस तरह की एक्टिविटीज़ जब हो, चाहे इको फ्रेंडली कार हो, चाहे आपकी शादी ही क्यों ना हो, बिल्कुल सब कुछ अलग हटके होता है। और इस तरह की, जैसे आपके हस्बैंड आपने बताया, यू नो, जो आपकी फैमिली के लोग हैं वो आपको इतना सपोर्ट करते हैं, ऐसे लोग जो आपकी हर चीज़ को सपोर्ट करते हैं, उस माहौल के बारे में क्या कहना चाहेंगे? यू नो, नाउ यू नो रोड ट्रिप और दैट टू इन लद्दाख।
एक्चुअली बहुत बढ़िया सवाल किया है आपने। मेरा ये मानना है कि मैं कोशिश नहीं करती हूँ हटके बनने की या हटके होने की। मुझे लगता है कि हर इंसान में इतनी क्षमता है कि वो अलग अलग चीज़ें कर सके, पर अक्सर हम अपने आप को 1 या 2 चीज़ों को सीमित करते हैं। जैसे हम चाहते तो हैं कि हम ये भी करें वो भी करें, लेकिन शायद कोई बोलेगा कि मैं सिर्फ अभी जर्नलिस्ट ही रहूँगा, या फिर मैं सिर्फ एक मार्केटिंग बॉस रहूँगा, या फिर मैं एक चैनल बॉस रहूँगा। तो मुझे लगता है कि क्योंकि मुझे इतनी सपोर्ट मिल पाती है ऐसे ही चैनल बॉसेस और मार्केटिंग बॉसेस की वजह से, तो अगर ऐसा इकोसिस्टम है आपके इर्द गिर्द जो आप जो करना चाहते हैं उसे सपोर्ट करने को तैयार है, तो फिर कमी ही क्या है। तो मेरा पर्सनली ये मानना है कि हम सब कुछ करना चाहते हैं। बहुत से ऐसे लोग हैं जो अलग अलग चीज़ें करना चाहते हैं, लेकिन किसी ना किसी कारण से वो कॉम्प्रोमाइज़ कर लेते हैं कि नहीं छोड़िए ना, अभी यही करते हैं। तो मेरी कोशिश रही है कि मेरी एक लिस्ट है, बहुत लंबी लिस्ट। मुझे लगता है कि जिस दिन मैं बहुत बूढ़ी हो जाऊंगी, मुझे ऐसा नहीं लगना चाहिए कि कुछ रह गया। और जहाँ तक कि सपोर्ट सिस्टम की बात की, मेरी ज़िंदगी में बहुत ही कुछ इम्पॉर्टेंट पुरुष हैं। वो मेरे फादर हैं, उन्होंने मुझे एक बहुत ही बढ़िया अपब्रिंगिंग दी है। मुझ में और मेरे भाई में कोई फ़र्क नहीं समझा। मेरे भाई हैं जो मुझे अपने भाई और भाई की तरह ही समझते हैं, और मेरे हस्बैंड हैं जो मुझे बस बहुत
अपने
सपोर्ट
भाई की
कर
तरह नहीं समझते।
दोस्त की तरह।
एक दोस्त की हैसियत से मुझे देखते हैं। और शायद मैं खुशनसीब हूँ कि ये सब लोग जो, और मेरे मैनेजर बहुत बहुत ही इम्पोर्टेंट, हम जो शोबिज़ में होते हैं अक्सर हमारा जो एजेंडा जो होता है वो हमारे मैनेजर, सेक्रेटरीज, एजेंट्स ड्राइव करते हैं। लेकिन जो मेरे मैनेजर हैं 10 साल से, विवेक सिधवानी करके हैं, उनकी मेरी बहुत बढ़िया ट्यूनिंग है। तो जितनी सपोर्ट मुझे इन 4 पुरुषों से मेरी लाइफ में मिली है और अब भी मिल रही है, दोनों तरफ पुरुष खड़े हैं मेरे, मैं मानती हूँ यही कारण है कि महिला सशक्तिकरण का एक प्रतीक मैं कुछ लोग मानते हैं मैं हूँ।
अबाउट द स्कॉर्पियो वन, स्कॉर्पियो के बारे में जानना चाहेंगे, इसको मॉडिफिकेशन करना एडवेंचरस के लिए, तो हाउ वाज कितना कंट्रीब्यूशन, बिकॉज डेफिनेटली यू वर सपोज्ड टू एक्चुअली डिजाइन, तो इसमें वी जस्ट टॉक अबाउट समथिंग अबाउट दिस मॉडिफिकेशन और दिस।
आई थिंक बुली बात करेंगे
अरे।
बिकॉज हमने तो सिर्फ उनको सजेस्ट किया था कि आप महिंद्रा स्कॉर्पियो गेटवे लीजिए, बिकॉज ये जो महिंद्रा स्कॉर्पियो का प्लेटफॉर्म है, इट्स अ टफ रगेड डीएनए, तो हमने तो उनको सही गाड़ी सजेस्ट करी थी। लेकिन बाकी जो कस्टमाइजेशन इसके ऊपर हुआ है स्कॉर्पियो गेटवे पे, ये सारा इन्होंने खुद डिसाइड किया है कि क्या क्या इसमें लगना है, तो उसके बारे में वही बताएंगी।
एक्चुअली मेरा महिंद्रा स्कॉर्पियो के साथ थोड़ा पुराना रिश्ता है। विवेक जी, आपको याद होगा 2005 में हमारी पहली बार मुलाकात हुई थी। तो उस वक्त मैं एक स्कॉर्पियो ख़रीदने के चक्कर में थी, लेकिन जो मार्केट में स्कॉर्पियोज़ मिल रही थी वो 4 व्हील ड्राइव में नहीं मिल रही थी। नया इंजन लॉन्च हुआ था, CRD इंजन, जो कि यूरो 3 भारत 3 स्पेसिफिकेशंस के लिए बनाया गया था। लेकिन जो 4x4 वर्जन थे वो ये एक्सपोर्ट कर रहे थे अफ्रीका में। तो मैंने गुजारिश की कि अगर आप बनाए, आपके पास 4x4 गियर बॉक्स है, आप क्यों नहीं CRD इंजन बना देते। तो जो पहली 4x4 स्कॉर्पियो भारत में बनी थी CRD इंजन में, वो मेरी थी। और वहाँ से एक हमारा रिश्ता शुरू हुआ और बहुत बढ़िया साथ दिया उस गाड़ी ने मेरा। अभी भी हमारे पास वो गाड़ी है चंडीगढ़ में, बढ़िया साथ दे रही है। और जब बहुत से मिस एडवेंचर्स कर हमें ये रियलाइज़ हुआ कि हमें कुछ काफ़ी कस्टमाइजेशंस करनी पड़ेंगी, क्योंकि जिस तरीके की कैलकुलेटेड रिस्क हम लेते हैं उनके लिए गाड़ी की क्षमता बहुत ज़रूरी है, नंबर 1, और उसमें 2-3 कस्टमाइजेशंस बहुत ज़रूरी थी। तो हमने सबसे पहले तो गाड़ी का थोड़ा सा रेज़ किया, सस्पेंशन को रेज़ किया, फिर एक रूफ टॉप टेंट लगाया, क्योंकि कहीं पर भी आप अगर खुल नहीं पा रहा है यहाँ पर जगह की कमी की वजह से, पर वो रूफ टॉप टेंट बहुत ही बड़ा एक एसेट है, क्योंकि अगर आपकी गाड़ी कहीं पर भी आप लैंड साइड की वजह से आपको रुकना पड़ता है तो वहीं पर आपका टेंट लग सकता है। फ्यूल, नॉर्मली हम लोगों को जेरी कैंस में फ्यूल कैरी करना पड़ता है, क्योंकि जो दूर दराज के इलाके होते हैं वहाँ पे फ्यूल स्टेशंस नहीं होते। तो इसमें एक ऑक्सिलरी फ्यूल टैंक है जहाँ पर एक्स्ट्रा फ्यूल ऑलरेडी गाड़ी में है। 2 फ्यूल टैंक्स हैं गाड़ी में। एक्स्ट्रा लाइटिंग बहुत है, क्योंकि जैसा कि आपने कहा लद्दाख में सड़कें, जब ऑफ रोड टेरेन होती है वहाँ पर सड़कें बहुत अनप्रेडिक्टेबल होती हैं, कहाँ पर मोड़ है, कहाँ पर खाई है, मालूम नहीं पड़ता। तो जब आगे कोई गाड़ी सामने नहीं आ रही है, उनको हम नहीं चाहते कि हमारी लाइटों से किसी को अंधा करें, पर जब कोई गाड़ी सामने नहीं आ रही है तो फिर हम लाइट्स ऑन करके पूरी अच्छे से लैंडस्केप को देख सकते हैं। और वाटर भी है, क्योंकि नॉर्मली जब आप ऑफ रोड ट्रिप्स पर जाते हैं आपकी जो स्टे होती है वो वाटर पर निर्भर होती है, किसी स्ट्रीम के बगल में, किसी रिवर के बगल में, क्योंकि पानी की तो आवश्यकता होती है। इसमें 100 लीटर का स्टेनलेस स्टील वाटर टैंक है, तो जो आपको 2-3 दिन तो आपके आराम से निकल जाएंगे जब आप ऑफ रोडिंग ट्रिप पर हैं। लाइट्स बहुत है, एडिशनल एक रिवॉल्विंग सर्च लाइट है जो भी लगी नहीं हुई है यहाँ पर, और विंच है कि अगर हम कहीं फंस जाए तो हम अपने आप को रिकवरी इस विंच द्वारा रिकवरी कर सकें, पुल आउट कर सकें। तो ऐसे हाई लिफ्ट जैक भी है कि अगर किसी भी कारण से बहुत बड़ा पत्थर आपकी बॉडी के नीचे आ गया और आपके एक पहिया हवा में आ गया तो ट्रैक्शन नहीं मिलेगी आपको चारों पहियों से, तो फिर वो हाई लिफ्ट जैक के ज़रिए आप गाड़ी को लिफ्ट करके कुछ नीचे से अगर क्लियर कर सकते हैं तो वो भी आपके पास ऑप्शन है।
अच्छा गुल, जैसे कि आपने कहा कि वुमेन सेंट्रिक फिल्म में गुल, जैसे कि आपने अंदर कहा कि वुमेन सेंट्रिक फिल्में भी एक्सेप्ट हो रही है, तो हम आपको कोई फिल्मों में देखेंगे ऐसे एक्शन करते हुए, एक्शन के रूप में।
So NH10 also, it was something on a road trip, and uncertain like how things changes, like maybe I'm just trying to add up things like
अनसर्टेनिटी तो हमारी रोड्स की खासियत है, और खैर अलग बात है वो। मुझे आशा है कि आने वाले दौर में हमें बहुत सी, मैं ये नहीं कहूँगी इंडस्ट्री फीमेल सेंट्रिक होनी चाहिए, लेकिन बराबर की होनी चाहिए। जितने अगर पुरुषों के बारे में फिल्में बनाई जा रही हैं आज, अगर हम देखें तो हर क्षेत्र में महिलाएं और पुरुष कंधे से कंधा मिलाकर हैं, चाहे आपका प्रोफेशन हो, मीडिया प्रोफेशन हो, चाहे ब्रॉडकास्टिंग प्रोफेशन हो, हर जगह हमको पुरुषों और महिलाओं का बराबर का योगदान दिखाई दे रहा है। तो मुझे आशा है कि बॉलीवुड ये पहल करेगा दुनिया की दूसरी फिल्म इंडस्ट्रीज़ के मुकाबले कि यहाँ पर दोनों को बराबर का दर्जा मिलेगा, क्योंकि हॉलीवुड में तो वैसे भी बहुत मेल डोमिनेशन है। 2-3-4 फिल्में बनती हैं साल में जो सक्सेसफुल होती हैं, पर ज़्यादातर पे जो फिल्में होती हैं वो मेल डोमिनेटेड हैं, मेल ड्रिवन है। और जो हमारा ट्रेंड हमने पिछले 2-3 साल से देखा है बॉलीवुड में, मुझे आशा है कि ये एक वन ऑफ नहीं होगा, लेकिन हमेशा हमेशा के लिए एक ऐसा ट्रेंड होगा जहाँ पर बराबर की एक्सेप्टेंस मिलेगी फीमेल ओरिएंटेड फिल्म्स को और मेल ओरिएंटेड फिल्म्स को।
थैंक यू।
You had a question for me?
Please talk something about this particular show, like how this actually इसको conceptualize किया गया था and who was it? कुछ शो के बारे में जानना चाहेंगे।
देखिए, शो है दो महिलाओं का जो एडवेंचर्स हैं। ये शो लद्दाख के हैरत अंगेज़ वादियों और नज़ारों पर भी है। कहानी तो ऐसे शुरू हुई कि देखिए, एडवेंचरर हैं गुलपनाग जानी मानी, इनको जाना था एक रोड ट्रिप पर, साथ में ले जाना था स्वाति को, जो बाहर निकलती नहीं है। हाँ, नीला आसमान देखने का मौका उनको कम मिलता है। और एसयूवी के लीडर हैं महिंद्रा। तो अभी ये तीनों लोग जब एक साथ इकट्ठे हो गए तो एक कोलैबोरेटिव एंटरप्राइज बन गया, और यही मतलब शुरुआत थी इस शो की। और मुझे फाइनल रिजल्ट देखकर बहुत खुशी हो रही है, और उम्मीद है कि व्यूअर्स को भी उतना ही पसंद आएगा जितना हमें आया है, और उसको देखने में उन्हें वो इतना मज़ा आएगा जितना हमें बनाने में आया।
How was it decided? This is 3 episodes. How many episodes are there?
3 episodes.
3-part series.
So how did we actually come up with it? There were 3 episodes. Like,
Well, that's never a predetermined construct, really. I mean, it all depends on how long you can retain the interests of the viewers, how the narrative is evolving eventually. And it really depends on where the story goes. I firmly believe that factual content such as this one, particularly one which is led by adventure and experience, really has its own narrative lifespan. And as long as the narrative endures and binds your interest and continues to engage you, that becomes the life duration of the show or the series. And therefore, there's no predetermined sort of telos to which we are progressing, that this has to be 4 episodes or 5 episodes, 6 episodes. I think that's the most honest way to make a program, rather than, retrofitting everything into a 2-hour, preconceived idea or a 3-hour preconceived idea. And I think that it's always better to leave viewers hungry for more rather than oversaturate them with information and with antics.
Thank you so much.